Out of all the recipes we have seen Jamie make, we have never seen him make biryani until now. So let's review this video before Uncle Roger does. We have actually reviewed 2 specific videos just before Uncle Roger reviewing them. So who knows? Maybe Uncle Roger is taking notes and seeing which videos are popular.
Woo! Yeah!
If you do happen to enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like and a share, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. And let's get started.
Now this is a kind of Anglo biryani. You know, we're not starting with raw meat, we've got the leftover meat, but we will turn it into something incredible.
It all begins with the base for the meat and the spinach.
Here we go. We're using leftover meat today. I mean, it's not a bad idea to use leftover meat to make something else out of it. It's actually a really good idea on how to use leftovers. Fingers crossed.
Finely chop 2 red onions, crush in 6 cloves of garlic and 2 thumb-sized pieces of ginger.
Ginger freezes brilliantly. So, freeze what you don't want to use.
Just keep in mind that if you do freeze ginger whole, it is very fibrous, and because of that, it may not have the same texture when you defrost it. And if you're wondering why is that, it's because when you freeze anything, especially like fish, water freezes, it expands several times its normal size, and because of that, it will shred a lot of products.
Chop a few sprigs of coriander, stalks and all, and just bruise everything into each other.
Bruise everything into each other. That's a poor choice of words. You don't want to bruise the vegetables. This is important, yeah? You want to slice them, chop them, but don't bruise them.
Then divide the aromatic veggies between 2 pans. One to cook the meat and one for the spinach.
I've got about 250 grams of leftover meat. Just run your knife through it so it's kind of little chunks.
Whack the lamb into your first pan with 2 heaped teaspoons of the curry powder.
Curry powder? Are we making a curry instead of biryani? As much as I would like to be bad cop today like Uncle Roger normally is and lay into Jamie, I'm going to try to be fair. I think he's adding curry powder because curry powder normally contains a lot of the ingredients that you would normally add to biryani. Turmeric, coriander, cinnamon, cardamom, maybe fenugreek, black pepper, ginger, and a few other spices. Instead of adding them separately, we're just adding everything in, maybe because it makes it easier. But he didn't do this with his curry that we reviewed years ago.
When you're juggling work and family, you need a dish that's super simple to rustle up.
I want to make a curry.
With 2 heaped teaspoons of the curry powder, salt, pepper, and 2 tablespoons of mango chutney.
Sweet, spicy, and very, very delicious.
Mango chutney! For the love of God, why every Indian dish, and biryani is not just Indian, but for every single dish, why must we add mango bloody chutney?
Sprinkle that in, right? Then we're going to go in with a good friend, right? Mango chutney. You want a couple of nice tablespoons. If you want to take the edge off the spice, put like 2 teaspoons of mango chutney. A little hack of a friend of mine that they swore by. And I tried it, and I did it as a blind taste because I swore that it wouldn't work, and it did. Mango chutney, 1 teaspoon.
We've tried Jamie's butter chicken, and we bought the specific chutney that he used. While it is a very tasty chutney, it's extremely sweet, like super sweet. More than 50% of the ingredients in this chutney is sugar. What I think we're gonna do is we're going to get some merch that says no mango chutney. Put that on there, yeah? Put Jamie's face on there, maybe.
Now in this pan here, which is frying away beautifully, I've got a little secret ingredient I want you to think about. Fenugreek. Put a couple of teaspoons of this in. These toast off beautiful. They're really savoury, they've got a sweetness to it. As soon as that fenugreek hit that oil and the ginger and garlic, it's amazing flavour.
With the fenugreek seeds, you need to cook them. If you're going to be using the leaves, you can add them a little later on so you don't lose the fragrance and the oils. And it does add a lot of flavour.
Now, I'm a lover of fresh spinach, but in the right place at the right time. Frozen spinach can be incredible.
It's about appropriateness. And in this context, I want a deep, dark, irony kind of spinach dish that I can either serve beside things, or in this case, as a layer in my biryani.
Surprisingly, when you do go to the grocery store, sometimes the frozen veggies are actually cheaper than fresh vegetables. Personally speaking, if you can get fresh veggies, use them. And if you're going to be using fresh and you're going to be using spinach, buy a lot, because spinach shrinks quite a bit.
Now back to the leftover lamb. To create a gorgeous sauce, start by slicing 1 chili and add 2 tablespoons of flour.
Jamie's adding 1 red chili. But the flour, this isn't a European recipe. We don't need to add the flour to thicken this into a gravy. That sauce or the juice will go into the rice and it will help finish cooking the rice. So, why are we adding the flour? Because we're going to be making gravy.
Now, to contrast the sweetness from the mango chutney, just a swig of red wine vinegar.
What?
That's going to be a little bit of a tack when you eat it. Very, very nice.
Why add the vinegar? If you need to cut the sweetness of the mango chutney because you added so bloody much of it to this recipe, why add it in the first place if you have to later add another ingredient that you don't need to add to this to compensate for the previous ingredient? It makes no sense.
If you have any leftover gravy, this is your moment to not waste that.
Oh my goodness. For everybody that's watching, please hit the like button. But most importantly, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Because trust me, watching him put mango chutney in this is torture.
Go in with some stock. I've made some with some leftover lamb bones, but you could easily use a stock cube. Then let it simmer until nice and thick for about 20 minutes.
Okay, so this is the bit now where we're going to make the biryani. Kind of emotionally get yourself into a lasagna place.
Oh no. The last lasagna that we tried was Jamie's recipe on a veggie lasagna.
And then just stir it through. This will be absolutely like a lasagna.
Be sure to go see that video after seeing this one. But I have a question. Where's the rice? We're supposed to be making like biryani. And the rice? It's a rice-based dish. It's like one of the most important ingredients.
Grease up a nice dish. I'm using dripping for extra flavour, but olive oil is fine. Then go in with some basmati rice, which has already been cooked and left to go cold.
I'm just encouraging it to go up the rim and the edge of that dish.
Oh, okay, Jamie added the rice. He didn't show us how he cooked it or made it. He may not have made it, somebody else may have. The thing is, normally when you make the rice, a lot of the Indian chefs will say that you need to undercook the basmati rice so you don't overcook it later on because you have to cook it twice. So what they will do is cook it to maybe 70-80% before, drain it, let it dry, and then later on, it will cook the rest of the way in the little pot with all the juices and everything from all the meat and the sauce and everything else.
Over here, all the water's gone, it's dense, it's dark. So into the pan we go with the spinach, every last bit.
Since everything's already cooked now, because you're not going to be actually cooking the meat in the pot, everything's 100% cooked, you don't need to cook it for that long, because if you cook it too long, you will burn the rice, especially the rice on the bottom of the pan.
And now for the lamb.
Phenomenal flavour, big flavour, delicious flavour.
Drain off the sauce for an amazing gravy, then pour the lamb on top of the spinach. Then a final layer of rice, a scattering of almonds, and just a little olive oil. Cover.
I think this would also be another leg down moment for Uncle Roger. It's like a must. He had to use it. He used it so the almonds will toast a little bit. This is why he used it. I don't know. If you have the last name Oliver, you might as well capitalize on it and use olive oil as one of your signature ingredients. It makes sense. It really does. But this isn't Italian or Mediterranean cuisine. So, why?
And then into the oven it goes for 40 minutes. Now prepare yourselves for proof of why everyone loves biryani.
What is that? Sauce or something off to the right here? It kind of looks like refried beans, doesn't it? I think it's gravy.
And that, my friends, that is what we're looking for. That little bit of crispy rim. It's that wonderful contrast of crispy rice and fluffy rice. Gorgeous.
So you can see the individual spots where the rice granules were in the pan. They were stuck and burnt to them. It doesn't look like the biryani has a lot of sauce. It looks very, very dry.
Pour over that spicy gravy, a scattering of fresh coriander, dollop in some soothing yogurt, and then some sliced chili on top.
Jamie poured extra gravy on this. Was this the same gravy as the lamb? Did he save a portion of this? Or is this something else that he made on the side and he didn't show us? And when Jamie says spicy, I highly doubt that it's super spicy. I would say that it's mildly, a little spicy. Just a little.
Really nice. A great, great way to celebrate leftovers in a very, very cool way.
Now, obviously, I'm going to be a little more fair with Jamie than Uncle Roger. First off, when you look at the final product, even though he added a little bit of gravy and everything to it, it doesn't look horrible. It doesn't. And I'm sure it doesn't taste plain or bland because he did add a lot of spices to it. Although he added just a quick curry mix to it, he did add at least spices and it does have flavor. Now for the bad bit. I don't know why Jamie has this mania to add the bloody mango chutney to every single curry or everything that he adds it to. He always adds a little dollop of mango chutney. It's like, it's constant.
Sprinkle that in, right? Then we're gonna go in with a good friend, right? Mango chutney. You want a couple of nice tablespoons.
I mean, honestly, you think he has like stock or something in that company because he keeps using it every single time. And then on top of that, he added vinegar to cut the sweetness of the mango chutney. It was dry, it did look like he burnt it a little bit, and then when he actually gave us a shot, it looked like a very dry biryani. And if you haven't seen any of the Jamie recipe videos, I've actually remade the recipes, please go check them out because I have remade a decent amount of Jamie's recipes. Let me know your thoughts down below, everyone. Hopefully you did enjoy this video and recipe, and if you did, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe because, well, it was a little painful to watch. And if anybody knows Uncle Roger, send them this video to review. Let's see if he reviews this one after I review it again.